change things up in all of this. What do you say to people? Because I've seen comments that say, oh, Photoshop, anyone could come up with DMs and all these receipts you're putting out. Anyone could fabricate this and fake DMs and fake whatever. I've seen those things.
Yeah, I've seen them too. So I had put out some text messages that showed Teresa's phone number, a text message that showed Jennifer's. The one with Jennifer was an accident, and I didn't realize that the one of them for Teresa was that as well. But listen, if these were fake, why are their numbers attached? I mean, I have call records. I have so much like people are like, what the hell was she messaging them on? Because most people have iPhones. I have a Samsung. So some people didn't recognize the texting because it doesn't look like iPhone to iPhone. I had a Samsung. There's a lot of things that they're saying to discredit them. But listen, here's another thing to look at. Yes, anyone can make receipts, but again, the phone, that stuff does not lie. And here's another thing. Those receipts have dates. You're telling me that in July of 2023, I was texting myself under how they're claiming I put Teresa's number. Like I was texting myself, but had her number, not her number, her name. You're telling me in July for like over a year and a half, January, July, like I was sending myself messages. Like these are time stamped. Another thing, which I will put this out. The letter that they sent me in regards to Vanessa Reiser in January of 2023. How are they going to say that's fake? Like this is shit that was coming from Teresa, pictures that were coming from Teresa. Like, they're of course they're going to try to say it's all fake and doctored. Like they were saying it was fake, and then they saw Teresa's number, and then they were like, "Oh my God, now you're doxing." And I thought, well, how am I doxing if it's fake, guys? Like, come on, make it make sense. So they just don't want to believe it. They don't. And believe me, like I just tweeted this the other day. I said, guys, if I wasn't involved, I wouldn't believe it either because it's so fucking insane.
You know what
But
also, because the more you talk, the more I think about things. Before we go, what about the whole, two things quickly. What about the Rapaport of it all? The whole thing where it's BravoCon and Michael Rapaport is,
they needed to talk to Michael Rapaport because he was talking shit about Louis in the Nono pajamas, and they didn't like that. And Louis was disturbed. Louis did not like the fact that Michael Rapaport, a man who went on his Instagram or wherever, talked shit about him and called him a little crazy. And they were like, oh my God, freaking out that he was going to, question that. Like, again, they're so sensitive about Louis. And I feel like if they're this sensitive, they need to get off the show then because they can't take criticism. But anyway, they wanted to talk to him to set him straight in regards to two things. Please don't bring anything up to humiliate him. And you got to understand where he's coming from. And actually, Michael Rapaport came out on his own pod and said him and his wife talked to Louis prior to BravoCon. And Louis was like all emotional and intense. And I know Louis was crying because Teresa told me they talked to him and that Louis cried to Michael and his wife. And that he was just like, guys, I'm new to this. Please don't like go in on me. This is really hard for me. So again, like these people are going out of their way to talk to people like Michael Rapaport, trying to get stuff on Kate Chastain.
That was my next one. I mean, I saw the DMs you put out. What? Jim Leonard, Teresa's lawyer, said he thought Kate Chastain was related to Jessica Chastain, and what? Jessica was saying bad things about Louis, and then Jim Leonard.
Yeah, Jessica Chastain said he was a red flag when he said the Bo Dietl that they had. Remember when he was in his house before the wedding and he was like, Bo Dietl's got an envelope on all of you guys.
And Jessica Chastain's, and then
the actress, she tweeted a bunch of pictures of a bunch of red flags, and she's like, "What a gem, ladies! Red flags everywhere," or something like that. Well, then Kate Chastain, I don't know where, because I never heard her insult Louis, but she must have criticized him because they were really focused on Kate Chastain because Kate was going to be one of the moderators for BravoCon 2023. And I don't know, at the time, they didn't know she was going to be one of the moderators for the Jersey panel, but they were going to make sure that they pretty much checked the person who was going to interview them because they didn't want them coming for Louis.
Which was Rapaport.
Yes. And Louis did talk to him prior. He gave the sob story about how, guys, I'm new to this. This is like, a lot for me. Please, like, take it easy on me.
I mean, it's very arrogant. Like, look, I talk a lot of shit on this podcast. And then when I interview someone, it's a different job. Like, I don't come for you to your face, not because I'm afraid of you, but because it's not about me. It's like, you're here, Tamra, who I call the rat. It's not about me. It's about your truth. Like Rapaport is a professional who has decades in the business. Like he's not there to like a personal gripe against Louis when there's an audience room full of, thousands of people. He's doing a job that he was actually paid for. He would never come for Louis from the
No, and
panel.
I wonder how Andy's going to feel about that, that here's someone on the Real Housewives of New Jersey and her husband and her lawyer trying to almost in a way muscle BravoCon moderators. You can't
Mhm.
moderate the moderator. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, they're get first of all, Teresa got a check to show up each day there. You're paid to be at BravoCon. Uh, Michael's getting a check to go sit up there and do a job. I mean, he's not gonna come with a vendetta. He's gonna do his job and go home.
Yeah, and also like to think like Michael could have really went off on his pod and when he addressed us, and he was still real nice about it. He was like, I get it. He's new to this. He's not maybe familiar with criticism, but it's like forget that. I mean, he was really nice. Michael was really nice in the way he addressed it. I mean, but that's besides the point. Here was a man who was so bothered by your criticism that he was going to have his wife reach out to people to gather information on you so that the lawyer could put you in your place so that you don't come for him on the panel. It's crazy.
They must fucking hate me because
Yeah.
no one
Well,
has ever reached
you.
out to me and said silence the kid. Like,
No. And they won't. You know why? Because you have too big of a platform. If they did, you would blast them and it would not be a good look for them.
right. And whatever you think you're gonna do to me behind the scenes, like put it out there. Like, I don't
Yeah.
care. Whatever it
Yeah.
is, like that's what I never understood. Like, if Teresa's nervous about an account that has so much on, like I've said this before on this podcast, if you came to me and said, you better do the following 10 things or we're going to expose this about you, I would say, I'm exposing it. Give me 30 seconds. I'm exposing this to the whole world. Now, what would you like? So
Yes.
that's, I think, why, because they know, I mean, I don't really have anything to hide, but whatever it is, go and expose it. I don't care. I mean,
Yeah.
the listeners will still tune in here.
Yeah.
So said
For
with
sure.
no ego, like we're past that. So
Yeah.
it's just got to be exhausting. But I agree. I think, to end on a positive note, I don't think this is what the audience wants. I mean, I
I don't
find, and
either.
I think they find this interesting, but I don't think they want it to be this toxic. I think from what I get in my DMs, people want NJ, RHONJ scrapped. They want it completely revamped and they
Yes.
want it to go back to like a nice, happy show.
Yeah. I think if Bravo got rid of Teresa, they would actually be doing her mental health like a favor. They would actually be allowing her to rest.
I just can't see them getting rid of her. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
trying
Well, no,
to,
I'm not saying they're going to. I'm just saying
yeah,
if they did, they would be doing her a favor.
I agree. I mean, look,
Mentally.
eventually they're going to have to do something. I understand, despite what I said, when they decided to bring everyone back this season, after it was announced, I get it because I think you put on that board, you couldn't figure out what to do. And if you can't figure it out, just bring everyone back. I think now we have everyone back and it didn't really solve anything.
Yeah.
We just replaced Rachel Fuda with Melissa. I mean, now it's Fuda versus Teresa. I do
Yeah.
think that at the end of the day, when all of this toxicity of things being leaked and you're going to keep leaking things through the season, I do think personally Jennifer is going to be the scapegoat. I'm not saying just Jennifer. I think this whole thing is being changed, but I think Jennifer, based on the fact that she was banned from press and Teresa's, like you said, I think Jennifer's definitely going. I really do. I think she's going to get she's going to be the scapegoat for all of this. I really
Yeah.
believe that.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we go, I just want to give a shout out to all the tree huggers that are definitely going to be stalking this episode and sending clips back to Jim Leonard because that's what they do. Uh, I just
Let's
want to
give a
tell those
shout out to
people,
them.
yeah, I just want to tell those people like, you guys, I understand that you feel like Teresa genuinely cares and loves you, and you're doing her a solid by investigating and planting, like plotting and planting against myself because I'm speaking out against her and revealing the truth. But guys, she really doesn't care. She doesn't. She's just wanting to be on that show, and that's the end of it for her. She will use you and abuse you, and when she's done with you, she'll throw you to the side. So go touch some grass. It's not that serious. It's a TV show. And yes, coming from the person who was working with them in the most like disturbing of ways, I'm saying go touch some grass because it will take a hold of your mental state and it does damage. So let it
I
go. These
agree.
people aren't worth it.
I agree. I mean, let's not forget I was friends with a lot of these people. It is about them. Anyone I am friends with from any TV show on Bravo, it is totally organic. I don't call them back. They don't, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, wait, I
Yeah.
owe you. But I do agree. I can't believe it's this serious to that many people. They will come after you. They will come after me. That is okay. Um, she doesn't care about you at all. Not even a
No.
little bit. She cares about $2 million a year and Louis. And I mean, it's the sad thing is she doesn't even care about fucking Jim Leonard. She would throw him to the goddamn
Oh,
wolves in a
yeah.
second.
She's gonna throw Jennifer under the bus just as
Yes,
fast as she's throwing Jim.
yes. Like I think if Jennifer wants to be friends with her after the show, she'll still be friends with her. I don't think she has a lot of girlfriends. I think they will be friends, but no, she's not going to stick her neck out and
No,
sacrifice Louis
she's
and the
not.
daughters and the job when Jennifer's the scapegoat. And
Yeah.
it's yeah, it shocks me that people are this invested in her or Melissa. It's so not that serious to me. I
Nope.
mean, if you were telling me the same thing about, Giselle, Brian, and Karen Huger on Potomac, I'd want to talk to you about that for the amount of time that we just talked. It's
Yeah.
not that
Yeah.
serious. People do think
No.
I'm invested. I'm happy to say that I'm not. I really
No.
don't care.
And I
I
love how
I
neutral you
don't
are.
care. I don't care what happens to Teresa. She's not my friend. I don't know
Yeah.
her. She's not my mother. She's not my
Yeah.
sister. I actually don't care.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. For
I
sure.
enjoyed the show for a really long period of time. And Teresa was part of that. There were days she wasn't, but I think, yeah, like I'm totally neutral. But I think your advice to the tree huggers is very good advice. I mean, I don't know. I don't think you're going to get through to any of them, but
No.
you
I'll
know what?
probably get more threats after this airs.
More power to Bravo. I think it was Bill Rancic who won The Apprentice, really smart businessman. When he was on this podcast, we said to me, Bravo is like the gold standard in a marketing class. I don't know how we got here. TLC doesn't do this. Bachelor Nation has ups and downs. This is just like the way that people die on the cross versus Teresa or Melissa when they don't even know you're alive. I'm speechless. I mean, Bravo and Teresa are laughing and Melissa are laughing, and that's it, right?
Yep. Yes. Yes. Put the phones away and go live life, guys, because they give a shit about you.
I mean, thank you to listening for us. Thank you to listening
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah.
This will be more than a two-parter. We'll say our goodbyes and then we'll come to, I'll close out this Zoom and then we'll get right back on and we'll do the other one,
Okay.
if that's good. But all right. So thank you for coming, Melissa's old nose.